What's going on, everybody? It is your man Cleveland Terry, and it has been a little less than a year since I reviewed the Denon Prime Go, maybe 10 months or so. So when I did the review based upon being able to use it in very closed environments. I wasn't DJing, I wasn't doing any mobile gigs. It was just pretty much me at my house or me at the outside ice cream shop, just trying to get a feel for this. So even though I did release my review, and you can always check that review out up here, I didn't really get a chance to put it through its courses. I spoke about all the benefits of having a truly mobile, meaning I don't have to plug it in, battery powered system, all in one, how valuable, how powerful that can be as a system. I talked about it, but I was never really able to use it until this weekend. This weekend, I put it through its paces. So we're gonna talk about what I feel about the Denon Prime Go now that I've used it several times. Do I still like it? Let's talk about it. Okay, so right off the bat, the footprint of this thing makes this thing very, very easy to transport around. As a matter of fact, I can fit it in a small bag. I can fit it into my jetpack drop bag and just trolley that bag around. Makes it really, really easy to use. But that's only one of the things that makes this beneficial. Another one of the very beneficial things is, again, it's battery powered. So I had an event, actually several events on Friday. I had a corporate gig come through for a hospital chain. So we had to do 9 hospitals in one day. Now, of course, I didn't do all 9 hospitals, but I did take 3. My partner took 2, and then we spread out the rest amongst the DJs. So this gave me a really good opportunity to try it out. Let's talk about what the Denon Prime Go is not. It's not the machine that you're gonna take and go crazy with all your tricks, all your fancy stuff. Can you do things like that? Sure. Can you use a crossfader and do some scratching? Carlos showed you before, it's definitely possible. However, for me, and I guess the more practical DJ, you're gonna use this as a way to have great sound coming out of a professional box that's easy to use and that can go from point A to point B or can operate with very little fuss. That's this machine. So I'm not expecting anybody to take this machine and start going, Red Bull 3 style. That's not what this machine is. But what it has is exceptionally powerful. Having all of your music all in one box, and of course, all of your music is dependent upon you and how big your SD card is, how much music you want to put on it. But you can put on a lot of music. So having all of that music right here, and then having access to any of the streaming services, whether it be Tidal or BeatSource Link or Beatport, like all of these things are available right in the box. Makes it so convenient. Now, what I decided to do on this event was I charged it up the night before, and I said, you know what? I'm not gonna plug it in all day. I had 3 events. Each event was approximately 1 to 2 hours. So the first event was 2 hours, second event was 1 hour, then the last event was 1 hour. And I wanted to see, could I use this machine without plugging it in? Now, I had this machine, and then I had my Bose L1 Pro 32. So my setup was really, really small. The benefit was because this wasn't plugged in, I only had to run 2 cords. 1 power cord for the speaker, and then 1 XLR right out of this into the line array. Now, the reason why I could do that, because right on the back here, you have the ability to just turn it to mono. A hardware switch, no software that you have to work through, just flip it to mono and you're good to go. That was really, really convenient. I'm not gonna lie to you, that made me so happy. I was set up, my entire setup in like 5 minutes. And look, when you're moving from place to place and you gotta load really quick and then you gotta unload really quick, time is of the essence. So the ability for me to do that made it so much easier. My second event that I got to, they were doing a COVID vaccinations and the line was ridiculous. So by the time I got in there, I didn't have a lot of time to set up. Fortunately, there was already a table there, and I just set this down, speakers, all of that stuff, all on one little small cart was set up like that. Now, after using it all day long, a couple of things that I'm still never gonna get used to. The small jog wheels are definitely a little bit of an issue. They're good to kind of queue up your songs and to get them to where you need them to be. But as far as like using them on the fly, they're a little frustrating to use. And making adjustments using the size of the jog wheels, like you would your standard CDJs or your DDJ 1000 or anything like that, they're a little sensitive. I was doing one mix and I dropped 2 songs and I went to adjust and I slid that thing over and it just went crazy. And this is after me dropping it down to the lowest setting possible. And then I realized, I'm so dumb. I got the pitch bend right here. So after I stopped trying to make adjustments to the jog and then move right to the pitch bend, night and day difference, night and day difference. I appreciate the pads, although they're still clickable, so it takes a minute to get used to that slight delay when you're clicking it, that you're activating the cue point, but you get used to it. The one thing I didn't get used to, and I don't think I'll ever going to get used to, and I hope that someday, Denon, if you're listening to me, you give me a firmware update that changes the roll, because as I mentioned in my previous video, you have your standard 4/4 rolls, and then you have your third rolls, your swing roll, okay? So this one is super fast. This one is ridiculous, almost unusable. But if you hit the bank, you go to the more reasonable 1 bar loop, half bar loop, 1 beat loop. That's what I need to be defaulted on the front panel. I don't care about the other ones. As far as the effects, they still take a little bit to get used to. Dialing in the perfect sound, like for instance with a echo, it takes a minute to figure out where you're the most comfortable. The effects are just, they just take a minute to get used to. That's all I can really say. But it's something that by the time I hit my 3rd event, everything kind of felt more natural. I found myself using this loop versus the loop button because it's just easier and it's right there to make adjustments. The ability to load in your Beatport link, beat source, SoundCloud, title. This is unbelievable because one of your big concerns, and Dropbox too, I forgot Dropbox is an option too now. Because one of my biggest fears was with taking a standalone device was if I didn't have a song, what am I gonna do? I can't get music into this thing easily. So what am I gonna auxiliary in with my phone or my iPad? That's annoying. A nurse asked me to play She Works Hard for the Money. I didn't have that song on here. I had it in my computer, but not on here. Of course, I was able to just open up my title and pull that in. I didn't check it in Beat Source link. I just didn't feel like it was gonna be in there. It might be, but I had a feeling it was going to be in title because that's a more commercial driven application. So pulled it in, it downloaded. Keep in mind that with Denon, everything downloads beforehand. So you can't play the song until the entire song is downloaded. But because of that, because of the ability to kind of grab, it did relieve a lot of stress that I had, like a lot of stress. I really, really appreciate this device. Now, what this device isn't, as you can see, I didn't even plug it in. It's almost ready to die. Now, I'm not gonna talk about money. I talked about all of that stuff on my previous review, but the question's gonna come up, am I happy that I own this thing? And the answer is absolutely. For those smaller events, for those events where you don't need to show all of your skill sets, don't get me wrong, I DJ'd the hell out of this box, but I didn't need to show turntablism or show those cool tricks. Like that wasn't what this was about. This was just about playing great music for some great people. And this really held its own. So I'm glad I have this as an option. Now for my next event where I was DJing a larger event and I had to show off a little bit to kind of, get some recognition out of the crowd, I brought the Rain 1 because I'm able to do a lot more with it. But Strangely enough, this box has internal effects where the Rain one doesn't. We're not gonna go there, we're gonna leave that alone. So price aside, this is a great backup system. This is a great super small, you got an hour party, you need a super small setup. This is going to be a great device. Yes, you can go with the small one in your computer. Yes, you can go with some other thing in Serato in your computer, but I'm gonna say this, the hardware that's built into this system is what separates it from some of the other systems out there. The fact that you have professional grade outputs in the system is one of the reasons why this separates itself from the other devices. I said it was fun before. I'm continuing to say it's fun now. So what else can I say about it? I enjoy using it. This is gonna sit in my bag. This is my backup. And I'm glad that I have it. And most people, once you start using it, once you start realizing the benefits of it, it's really hard to turn away. All right, guys, if you found this here useful, hit that like button. If you found it really useful, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow me on the Instagrams and the Twitters. Get on my Discord because that's where we're talking about all things Cleveland Terry, especially my Wake Up in Cleveland show. Guys, girls, always a pleasure. If I don't talk to you later, we'll talk soon. Peace.